Born in Liberty, Indiana, at age 19, Marty was impacted by the attack on Pearl Harbor, and she had to be convinced to stay at DePauw for her degree in bacteriology before going to Franklin Field to start flying. She quickly logged the 35 flying hours per WASP requirements and joined Class 44 W-10 at Sweetwater, Texas, flying PT-17s, BT-13s, and the fighter trainer she loved, the powerful AT-6. But 2 weeks after graduation, and after accumulating nearly 210 flight hours, the U.S. Army disbanded the WASP program. Male pilots returning from combat wanted the WASP flying jobs. Marty felt her mission was unfulfilled. She returned to Indianapolis, where she kept up her flying as an instructor and ferry pilot. One of Marty's Franklin Flying Field students was a brash and handsome Gene Wyall. Soon they were married, moving to Fort Wayne and purchasing a farm just a few miles from Bear Field. Running the farm, tending Hereford cattle, and raising 5 children simultaneously would seem like enough when her nearby flying friend and former WASP, Maggie Ray Ringenberg, called, needing a co-pilot for the Powder Puff Derby, now called the Women's Air Race Classic. Marty had not flown in several years, but they placed, and Marty's passion for flying was reignited. By 1965, Marty started the first woman-owned, operated air taxi business in Indiana. She was very busy flying people, documents, and parts around the Midwest. Looking back, CNA Aviation was the FedEx of Fort Wayne before FedEx existed. Jean's construction business sometimes needed parts for heavy road-building machines, and she would fly to Milwaukee, pick up the component, fly back to Fort Wayne, land on the new freeway being built, and deliver the part in hours, not days. Both Marty and Jean applied to the airlines. Jean had about 500 hours, Marty many, many more. He got a letter from United offering him a position in the next class. She got a letter saying, "We will never have a woman as a pilot, but you can apply as a stewardess." To rebuild the WASP ties, at the 1964 99s convention, Marty arranged for a dinner to unite as many girls as she could find. The keynote speaker was their famous director, Jacqueline Cochran. Then, from her Fort Wayne farm, she began building the 1,000-plus WASP roster without the help of the Internet. This was a daunting project, with 1,000 WASPs to locate. As the roster grew, so did her files on the WASP's experiences. Marty collected all things WASP, correspondence, personal stories, and artifacts, soon filling an outbuilding at the farm. At the 1969 convention, held at Jacqueline Cochran's ranch, Chuck Yeager presented a large plaque to Marty in appreciation for her rebuilding the Order of Fifinella. Marty became the official historian and later served as president for several terms. But the WASP had unfinished business, having never been officially recognized as a military unit with its hard-earned benefits. Marty's deep archive of WASP documents were key to this cause, proving the WASP had done true military service. The Order of Fifinella leadership, using her files, advocated at WASP conventions, met with U.S. legislators, spent countless hours writing and making phone calls, and succeeded. Finally, the U.S. Congress passed and the President signed H.R. 8701, officially declaring the women Air Force service pilots as having served on active duty in the armed forces. And in a crowning event, in 2009, Congress voted to give the women of the WASP the Congressional Gold Medal. Marty's work as the official WASP historian expanded the archive, and it now needed a place where the thousands of personal letters, news articles, photos, personal items, uniforms, and official correspondence could be cataloged and made safe for public access. All of it was loaded aboard 2 box trucks and headed from the farm to Texas Women's University in Denton, and is now the archival home for the WASP history. On the Honors Plaza at the U.S. Air Force Academy stands a bronze statue of a young lady dressed in a flight suit, pinned with silver wings and a fixed stare looking skyward. The Academy now honors the WASP for their service in World War II and for opening the door for future young women to serve as pilots in the U.S. military. Marty Wyall helped push that door wide open.